All right. I'm gonna count down. Don't start early. All right. How do I look? I look good.
Look like a fucking poppy.
I'm poppy. You're dumb. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Took the whole team to the promised land. Rest in peace to my father, man. Wish you could have seen the plan.
Welcome back, everybody, to the 2ManGame podcast. Again, I am your host, Dante. This is K.C. And today we got a really great show planned for you NBA fans. fans, the season is right around the corner. We're preseason currently. So, K.C., take them through what we're going through today.
Yeah, so with the NBA season right around the corner, we want to talk about some early standings, what we think is going to happen throughout the year, and give our early season awards with Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, Rookie of the Year, and Most Improved. So while going through this, we're going to start at what we think is going to be the 10 seed and go down from there. So we'll go back and forth and see what we think. So getting right into it, Dante. We'll start in the East, and who do you think is going to be that 10 seed playing for the playing?
So that 10 seed play-in tournament. Again, I love the play-in tournament. I think it gives a lot of teams at that 11, 12, 13 range something to play for.
Yeah,
and eliminates a lot of tanking and stuff like that. So at number 10, I got the Washington Wizards.
Okay.
So new coach. You never know how that can go. It can go two ways. You know how that goes. Really bad at the start. Plus, you got 3-4 new guys that's going to be implemented into the offense really quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dinwiddie, Kuzma. See how him and Rui play together at that 3-4 spot. So
yeah.
But I think the talent is there. I think to make the play-in tournament. I think the talent is definitely there. So at number 10, I got the Wizards.
Yeah, I like that. I had them at 11. I think it's going to be a bloodbath for those last spots. I really liked the playing tournament. It made the end of the season real competitive. Most of the time, that's when teams start resting players and start tanking. So
tanking for draft picks. Yep.
I like what the Wizards did this year. I think it'll be really close, but I have the Raptors at 10. Post Kyle Lowry era, so Van Fleet and Siakam will be able to see what they could do by themselves. Because last year, I saw him talking about last year a couple of days ago, and he said with Kyle Lowry, they didn't really know. They didn't want to step on anyone's toes or nothing like that since it was his team. So I think post Kyle Lowry, they have an idea of what their roster, and I really like Fred VanVleet, Siakam, and Gary Trent Jr. He could shoot the shit out of the ball. And he's a good defender too. And they got Precious Akua. I probably butchered his name. Butchered.
Yeah, we'll get into him later. I got him in one of my early awards. So
so I think that's a good pickup. And Dragic, of course, he's a solid point guard.
Yep.
It's he'll be good for them. And then Scotty Barnes, their new draft picks. He has a lot of potential. He's like 6'9" point forward. He rebounds the ball well, makes plays, could score the ball. He has a lot of room for improvement, but overall I think his game's pretty good. So I have them as my 10.
Okay. Yeah, I really like Scotty Barnes. I liked him at Florida State.
He was solid.
Yes. Getting into number 9. Okay, I have the Indiana Pacers. Okay. So the Indiana Pacers are one of those weird teams. It's like every year they're middle of the pack. Every year. You know what I mean? But they're really competitive, and I like their pieces. So Domantas Sabonis, man, all-star, can go for 22 and 10. You know what I mean? Even more than that. And then obviously still with Malcolm Brogdon, he's great,
good point guard, underrated.
Great point guard, very underrated.
Yeah.
And so it'll be weird because with the Ben Simmons situation, I don't know, because they were considered a top contender for Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
a couple days ago. So it'll be interesting to see if they kind of like go for it.
Mhm.
But I like their core, what they got now, and Karis LeVert coming back full healthy season. I think they'll be
Hopefully, I think
Yeah,
he's a little
hopefully.
banged up right now,
Right,
but hopefully he could stay healthy.
right. If he can stay
That'd be
healthy,
huge for them.
I think that three right there, they'll be okay. So
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like their three main guys with Sabonis and Brogdon and Miles Turner. I like Miles Turner too.
Miles Turner, yeah, I didn't even mention Miles
He's
Turner.
For me though, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from them. Last year was kind of just like a botched year for them
Yeah,
with their coach. It didn't go well. He got fired after 1 year. They
Mhm.
got Rick Carlisle, so
yeah.
I'm not mad at you for that. I think they'll be in the chase for it. But personally, at my number 9, I have the Hornets.
Charlotte.
So they're one of the most exciting
Yeah, they'll be
teams.
fun to watch this year. Definitely.
Yeah, they're one of the most exciting teams, athletic, and I think this year LaMelo is going to take a big step for them.
Mhm.
He was the rookie of the year. Obviously, he was good last year, but I think this year he's going to take it to a whole nother level.
Right.
So, and last year they were really good up until Hayward and LaMelo got hurt.
Mhm.
They were a top 6 seed last year
Yeah,
up
they
until
were.
then. So
They were.
they're a
They
good
were.
team. They added Mason Plumlee, Kelly Oubre, and then they drafted James Bognite. So those are some solid pickups. I don't think Kelly Oubre or Mason Plumlee are going to necessarily like tip the balance of being in the top 6, I wouldn't say, but I think if Gordon Hayward and LaMelo Ball stay healthy, and Terry Rozier, he had a great year last year. So if he keeps getting better, all those young guys keep getting better. I could see them maybe even being a little higher, but I got them at 9 because they're still relatively young, but they're mixing together some the younger guys and the older guys. So I'm expecting them to be pretty fun to watch this year and good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because I really like Miles Bridges.
Yeah, he's a freak.
So yeah, definitely. So it'll be interesting to see. Like they'll be high flying and they'll be going. Terry Rozier had a great year. It'll be interesting to see if he can bounce back and continue to do what he did. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that at number 9.
Yeah.
Okay, getting into the old fashioned. If this was no play-in tournament.
Yeah.
This will be the first team in, or last team in, I guess. And I got the New York Knicks. So we already know the Knicks management has been an issue for the past 20 years, front office and things like that. They picked up Julius Randle last year, wasn't expecting to do anything. And then they have this amazing year where they're the 4 seed and have a first round playoff, in New York. So that's fun.
That was big time.
I don't think they'll be the same New York Knicks team they were last year. I do think they're a really good team though, but that just shows you how stacked the Eastern Conference has gotten and is now.
Yeah.
But I like them. Derrick Rose, if he could, we know Derrick Rose, if he could stay healthy, stay on the floor and do his thing, they're a great team, man. And Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, I really like them. So yeah, I mean Tom Thibodeau, you can always trust Tom Thibodeau on the defensive end. So they'll be great defensively. And so I mean, hey, I got the Knicks at 8.
Yeah, I'm wrong with you on that one. I got them at 8 too. I know last year they definitely surprised a lot of people with what they did. So that's kind of why I got them a little lower this year. I think teams they're gonna be ready when they play the Knicks this year. And they definitely, but I like what they did offensively with the pickups with Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, and they also Dwayne Bacon, and they got a couple draft picks that were solid. So I think what they lacked last year was the offensive flow in the playoffs because they weren't scoring the ball very well.
Right.
So
they were a lot of one-on-one, I noticed, in the playoffs.
Yeah, and they relied on like Derrick Rose and Julius Randle to just kind of a lot of ISOs and just go get a bucket. Well, that's what playoff basketball is at the end of the day, but they added some more guys who could do that for them. So I think they're going to be a really good team, like you said, good defensively. Their offense looks like they're going to be a lot better this year. So if Kemba Walker I don't expect him to be old Kemba Walker, but if he could give him about like 17 to 20 points a game, and be on the floor, I think they'll be pretty good. I think with him playing though, their defense may take a little step back just because he's small. He's not the best defender, but I think overall they're going to be a really good team. And with how the East is, I wouldn't be surprised if they're a little higher or a little lower. But I got them right at 8. I think that's a good place for them.
Yeah, I mean, if they could, if Kemba can stay where he was in Boston, and stay on the floor, because he was a 17 to 20 point per game scorer in Boston. If he could stay, in that range, stay efficient. Well, I don't think he wasn't really too efficient in Boston, but if he can get his efficiency numbers up, they'll be a really scary team.
Yeah, I think RJ Barrett too. I'm expecting some big things from him. He was good last year. He had a really like he was averaging about like 18, I think it might have been, but it was like a low key because you got Zion in the same draft class as him and John Morant going crazy. But under the radar, he was solid in the playoffs. He was a little shaky, and it showed
which
that
is expected.
He was, but he kind of got exposed with only wanting to go left. Him and Randall. So I'm looking for them this year to be able to go right.
They were sitting on their left hands in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I noticed that too.
I mean, that's what happens in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but
hey, they scheme better for you in the playoffs.
Yeah, no,
they got
definitely
7 games, so they're gonna take all your tendencies away.
Yeah.
So getting into number 7. So this was weird. So at first I had Boston here at first. Okay. But then I realized that Philly, with the turmoil and what's going on up there, I got them at 7. So I mean, Philly, they're just a weird team. Every year I feel like they could either be really good, just like last year, but obviously with the Ben Simmons situation, which has been taking up all of the offseason, you never know what you're going to get. So, and I feel like with him mentally checked out or whatever point he is in his career, or his tenure with Philly, that obviously now the focus is going to be Embiid, which it always has been. But now I think every night he's going to see double and triple teams. So it'll be interesting to see how he can accept the role of getting the ball to your shooters, Danny Green and Seth Curry and Korkmaz, I believe that's his name. So it'll be interesting, again, to see how he handles the double and triple team. So I have Philly at 7. So we'll see how Doc Rivers does this year with this team.
Yeah, I got Philly. I got them at 7 too. I think they're one of the biggest question mark teams in the league right now. Obviously, with Ben Simmons, that whole situation, who knows if he's going to show up or not. And I think the season is really, really going to rely on Embiid's health, because if he's not healthy, I see that team way below what we have him at.
If he's playing 40, 50 games this year, they might, 10, 11, it might be around that range. This whole season is going to be predicated on Embiid's health, in my opinion.
And I like their team even without Ben Simmons, but with him, we saw what they did last year. They could be a really, really good regular season team. But I got him at 7 right now. I like Tyrese Maxey. Tobias Harris still got to show me something though. And
he's got to be that guy now. He's got to.
He's getting paid, so right now is his time to ball out. So
that guy.
I think they're going to be a really good team. They picked up Andre Drummond. That's like one of their big signings. So a solid big man off the bench who could cause some havoc if not going to really tilt the scale or anything, but a solid pickup. So I got them at 7. I think they could be a lot higher depending on Simmons and what happens with that. If
Right.
they get some good pieces, but right now I'll keep him at 7 though. I think that's a good place.
I think 7 is a good spot. So yeah, number 6, I got here the Boston Celtics. So another team that has a new coach, Emeka. He was, with the Brooklyn Nets last year, and then he was coaching Tatum in the Team USA. He was one of the coaches, in Team USA. So I think they really gelled quickly, which would be really good. That's always good. And Tatum going to Team USA, playing overseas, and doing that is always good.
Yeah.
So yeah, him and Jaylen Brown, any given night, they could be the 2 best guys on the court.
Yeah.
So they're also a team that can, I think, 4 or 5 could be their ceiling, but I have them here at 6. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Once again we're on the same boat with this one. I think the new coach and new system will be really good for Jason Tatum and all Jaylen Brown, all their guys. I feel like they needed a new voice. Last year they got hit with a lot of injuries and COVID. So yeah, and they were still pretty solid, but they definitely lacked just like a lot of depth. So what they did this year with Dennis Schroeder, they brought Josh Richardson in, who's a good 3-and-D player, Al Horford, who does a lot more than what the stats are going to show you. So that's a good pickup. And Enes Kanter, they got him back. He's a good player. He's not the best defensively. He's kind of reliability with
killed in pick and rolls, but
he's going to give you a lot more opportunities on the offensive end with
second chance,
rebounding the ball hard and stuff like that. And so I think they could be really good. I think 6 is a good spot for them. I can see them being higher though, for sure. I expect Tatum and Brown to take another step in the right direction, because they've already been to the Eastern Conference Finals. They've experienced that, and they've been the 2-headed monster to get them there. So I expect them to new year to do their thing. I could see some big things coming from Celtics this year.
Yeah, definitely. They have the talent. Obviously, they got 2 number 1 options on a team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, their ceiling could be 4.
Yeah.
So you never know with the injuries and things like that. But
I
like the Celtics.
Yeah, I think they're defensively could just be a monster though, with like Smart, Brown, Tatum, and Robert Williams. He's like like that's a good defensive lineup right there. So even maybe throw in Richardson in there too or something like that's pretty good talent. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing this year. So number 5, what you got?
Number 5. Now, the Chicago Bulls. Okay, I think we all seen that coming with obviously the additions, and I like Billy Donovan. I feel like he's had a lot of talent. I feel like he's done pretty well with it. Even in OKC, pretty sure he was coaching Paul George and Westbrook, and that year, the second year of that team, Paul George was the second in MVP vote. Averaging 28. So, I think Billy Donovan is a good voice for this young core. And then obviously with Zach LaVine, we talked about it in the previous episode, or with him playing overseas, playing for Team USA, seeing how they win.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, I think So I think they got a lot of guys who have proven they can play, but not on a winning team. So Vucevic and Lonzo have been pretty good, but they haven't won anything. So it'll be, again, interesting to see how they gel together with DeMar DeRozan, a vet who's been in it for a while. and I think they'll be number 5.
Yeah. I got him at number 5 too.
Yeah, hey, the rest of it might be the same. I think it'll be the same from
Yeah,
8 up.
yeah. It may be, but yeah, they got a whole new starting 5, so that would I think take some time to get adjusted to. But that starting 5 could play with anyone I think in the league, damn near.
They can.
They got a lot of offensive power, so that's going to be real fun to watch. And I don't know if you've seen so far their 2 preseason games, but they've been killing.
They beat up on somebody, the Cavs, I think.
The Pelicans and the Cavs.
Yeah, they beat up on them really bad.
And it's preseason, so I'm not trying to get too excited off it, but so far they looking pretty good. So I think they're definitely going to be a problem. And I think Williams, how he develops, he's a good 3-and-D player. So that
I love his upside.
Yeah, his upside it's high. So and then their new additions, obviously Lonzo, DeMar, but I think Caruso he's been playing really good for them. And he's now out of the LA spotlight, and a lot of people like to hate on that. But so far he's been balling out. So I'm excited to see what he does with like a new setting and stuff like that. And then Derrick Jones Jr., who's a athletic guy, could play some defense. So I think they're going to be running the mix with everyone else.
They're so athletic, man.
Yeah, my whole thing is if they're defensively, how are they going to be? Because Vukovic, he's not the best defender, but like Lonzo Ball, he's a good defender. We'll see what Zach LaVine does. Maybe he'll start focusing more on that. And DeMar's a solid defender, but Williams a good defender. So we'll see how they all mesh together defensively. But overall, I think they'll make a lot of noise. They're gonna be a real fun team to watch. So I'll be tuned in for sure.
Yeah, I think historically, guys who take lesser roles on the offensive end or don't have it. So like Kawhi, for example, in San Antonio, was a monster.
Yeah.
KD really showed what he had once he went to Golden State because he didn't have
defensively.
To, he didn't have to exert all that energy on the offensive end. So I think defensively, I think they'll get to it. They'll be scrappy, and obviously with all that athleticism, they'll get in passing lanes and do a lot. So get out and run. So
they're going to be Bulls. That'll be fun to see for sure.
Yep. Number 4. So this is one team that I hope can maintain because they're still young. So the Atlanta Hawks. We know what they did last year, the run to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I really like what Nate McMillan has done down there in Atlanta. He's a great coach. So he was really good in Indiana too before they got rid of him. Which was I didn't understand why they got rid of him because I remember that year they were still in the mix, but they were hurt. Like I remember TJ Warren and I believe Brogdon was hurt for a little while. Sabonis, like they were just like really banged up, and he did a good job there. So I think Atlanta could be really scary, man. They have the experience of getting deep into the playoffs, so that there'll be a really tough out for whoever in the first and second round they play. So I like their core. Atlanta, number 4.
We're on the same boat once again.
I'm pretty sure from here, like I said, from here on out.
I think what they did last year was really impressive, and I hope that they just keep building off what they did last year. Trae Young, I'm expecting him to take a big leap in what he was doing last year. He was balling out. I think his IQ and just the game is just going to keep slowing down for him. He's just going to keep getting better and better. He's really like that, and they didn't really no really new additions that really popped out to me. They got DeLon Wright, who's a solid player, solid backup point guard, nothing too crazy. They got Sharif Cooper and Johnson from Duke. We're 2 rookies there. I don't expect them to be doing too much for them at first, but we'll see how they turn out. But I expect the Hawks. They're a deep team. They got a good mix of vets and young guys. So and it was a perfect fit last year. So I expect them to just keep building and be a threat in the East. I don't I don't know about finals, but I wouldn't be surprised if they made the Eastern Conference again though.
Right.
Depending on matchups and who they matched up with and whatnot. But yeah, I got them at 4.
Yeah, I don't anticipate them to be as injured as they were last year. They had so many guys miss a lot of games that
they did.
You couldn't really see them. But I mean, once they got in the playoffs, they were, they did their thing. So yeah, I don't expect Cam Reddish to miss 40, 50 some games again. And I think Chris Dunn, even though he probably wouldn't have played in the rotation, but Chris Dunn missed probably the entire year.
Yeah, he missed a lot of time.
Yeah. So if they're not injured, I see them doing well.
Yeah.
So then coming in at number 3, I got the Miami Heat. So we know what Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra have done with lesser talent, less talent than what they got now. And then to bring in PJ Tucker to a team that's already defensive minded, I think it'll be leaps and bounds. You know what I mean? Kyle Lowry, who is a great leader. I think him and Jimmy Butler will mesh really well.
Yeah.
You know how emotional Jimmy can get. And I think they got a perfect mix of just shooters and defense, and just they're just really well-rounded team. So
yeah,
I like Miami at number 3.
Yeah, I got them at 3 as well. The Lowry, I think that's a great fit for them. A guy who could create for others, but also create some offense for himself. He's gonna be doing the little things, taking charges, just being a freaking pest out there. So he's gonna be big for them. I think PJ Tucker, like you said, he's a good 3-and-D player. Brings some that gritty, that toughness. They also got Markieff Morris, who's another tough guy who is gonna bring the edge for them. So I think Tyler Hero, so far he's been balling out his preseason, but he's been balling out and he's looking like he's locked in. So he probably had the same numbers as his first year, well maybe from the bubble than last year. So I'm expecting him to have a bounce back season. He's looked good, so hopefully he could continue that trend. But like you said, they got a good mix of they're just a well-rounded. They got a good team, and I don't think anyone wants to see Eric Spoelstra in the playoffs. He's one of the better coaches in the league. So I can see them being really, really good and a lot of fun to watch too. So I can't wait. I can't wait for that.
Exactly. Coming in at number 2, the NBA champions, the Milwaukee Bucks. I really didn't like PJ Tucker leaving. Right. I feel like they could have had a really good chance of running it back. I still do without PJ Tucker, obviously. I still do. But they're just defensively, again, they're one of those teams you don't want to see. The length, Giannis, Middleton, and then obviously Drew Holiday is a pest on defense. You saw what he did in the finals and had a huge impact on what was that game 5 where he ripped the ball away, or 4?
Yeah, game 4
where he ripped the ball away from D Book. So
the
Milwaukee Bucks would be really good. They brought in some shooting. They brought in Grayson Allen, who I think is really underrated. But the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm sorry, I got them at number 2.
Yeah, I have them there too. My thing is they've been hunting for the championship for so long. So how are they going to react when they're the hunted now?
Right.
So the hunter turns into the hunted. So that'll be something to look forward to. I could see them not really chasing to be the number 1 or 2 seed or nothing like that this year. I have them at 2, but I could see them kind of being smart with managing people's minutes and people taking time off and stuff like that. But when you have that big 3, Middleton, Giannis, and Drew, I think you have a good chance against anybody. Like you said, the PJ Tucker, losing him, I think that was huge. If they could have kept him, they probably should have, but I'm not a GM, so.
Right.
Uh, but they're experienced now, and I could see them. They're gonna be making some noise, of course. Giannis is one of the best players in the league, so they're gonna be really good. It's gonna be fun to see what they could do for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you always wonder about that finals hangover,
Yeah,
after you win the championship, you kind of just ease off the pedal a little bit.
yeah. But Giannis is one of those dudes though, like
Yeah,
he's about business. So I don't see him having any hangovers off the championship. I see him coming back better. Every year he's gone better. So I expect him. He will probably be shooting some more threes, maybe.
Hopefully.
Even though most of the time I don't like him shooting threes, but that's another story.
But I mean, hey, you keep the defense honest, man.
Yeah.
I don't mind him taking two a game.
Yeah.
No,
I feel you.
Then obviously they get DiVincenzo back, so that'll be
good for them.
And then number one, no surprise, we both got the Brooklyn Nets here. Now I wrote down Kyrie because what do we know? With the whole vaccine situation. And something interesting that I noticed that about their health is that Kevin Durant hasn't been healthy since 2014. You know what I mean? And then obviously this is another year. He's going about to be 32. He's 32, going on 33, I believe. Something like that. So
close to it.
As you get older, those injuries, man, they come back to get you. And Harden hasn't really been, injury bugged or prone in his career, but that hamstring it can definitely get you. So Brooklyn Nets, if healthy, Patty Mills, Paul Millsap, they got great veterans coming off the bench.
Yeah.
So if healthy, I got them coming out the East.
Yeah, we're both on the same boat. I think if they stay healthy and they're going to be one of the scariest teams of all time. Their star power and their bench and what they got going on, it's a lot. It's a lot for the league. Obviously, defensively that's going to be a question mark for them. But when you could score how they score, I don't think defense is going to be necessarily a problem. I could see Steve Nash. It's his second year coaching, so I see him taking some steps in the forward with that. I think he'll be just a lot better. Obviously, Kyrie's the biggest question mark if he's gonna get vaccinated with the New York regulations and all that. He's not gonna be able to play home games, so that's. What is that? 41 games, but also playing in New York, they probably play a couple of games at the Knicks, and then Warriors, he won't be able to play. So that's about like 45 games more or less that he'll miss. And with him, he also likes to. He takes some personal time every once in a while. Well, at least last year he did. So that may be another 5 to 8 games. So that's a lot of games that he may miss if he doesn't get the shot. So it's crazy. That's the biggest question mark. But even if he wasn't there, I think their talent will still be one of the better teams in the league. With Kyrie Irving, they're the clear-cut favorites, I think. But with only James Harden and KD, they're still, I think, the favorites to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I just hate the fact that they still only played 10, 11 games together.
Yeah,
and that's going to continue this year with Kyrie situation. So that and injuries, man, that's the only thing that's going to really stop them from getting to where they want to be.
Yeah, I hope they can stay healthy. It's good for the NBA seeing them ball out. Their team is crazy, so I'm hoping they're healthy. And so we want to. I guess we could give a little shout out to the teams who didn't make the cut for us. Just like a little quick recap, well, you had the Pacers. I think like I wrote down, I think they're going to be solid. I could see them being in contention for the playing game and stuff like that. But it's it's that's just the whole bottom is it could all go either way
Yeah.
depending on health and what kind of moves teams make throughout the season.
Mhm.
So, but as of right now, I have the Pacers outside looking in. So I know you have them in. The Pistons, I think what they got going on is pretty good with Cade. I think he's going to be really good. Grant, who's a solid 3-and-D player. He was good. He averaged like 20 last year. Bay, who had a really good rookie year, and and Stewart, who was really good too.
Right, and they also get back Killian Hayes.
Yeah, I'm not sold on him yet.
Yeah,
I think he's a solid player.
I haven't seen too much. Like he didn't play a lot, so
yeah,
it'll be. I mean, they definitely have the talent.
Yeah.
In the next 5 or 10 years, be a team. So
I think they'll be competitive. Like they're going to be better than what they were last year. And Dwayne K.C. is like a pretty good coach too. So they'll be ready to play. It's just the teams above them, I think, are all better. That's kind of what it is.
It happens, you know. It happens.
Yeah. And then also the Magic. Well, the Magic, they're a young team, so I don't expect them to make too much noise.
A lot of guards.
Yeah,
which
that's a
mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what they are trying to do with that, but
yeah. And then also the Cavs, who they're since LeBron left, they've just been kind of a mess over there.
Yeah.
And but like
Evan Mobley and him playing with Jared Allen, who is, showing what he could do in the league. I think that'll be really good for Evan Mobley. Yeah. And then obviously you got Sexton and Garland.
Yeah.
They're going to be a scary team in a few years. Just give them some time.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Sexton, because I've heard his name like come up a lot in trade rumors with getting traded and stuff like that. And then Kevin Love, we don't know what if he's
right. I thought he would by now. I thought he'd been gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that it's gonna be. I think they'll be competitive, but I don't see them making like a ton of noise this year.
Not at all.
But well, now we could move over to the West, the loaded West.
The Wild West.
Yeah, it's
the Wild West. So coming in at number 10. So I was looking at, the bottom half of the West, and I feel like this team is probably the most talented. So I got the Minnesota Timberwolves number 10. I think when Cat, D'Lo, and Anthony Edwards get on the floor together, they're going to be like sort of just fun to watch. They're not going to be, that team obviously to win a bunch of games, but they'll be right there fighting for that 10 spot, I believe. So I got them at number 10.
Yeah, we're reading each other's minds or something. I got them at number 10 too. I think Anthony Edwards is going to take a big step forward this year. He was good last year. Like I know Minnesota is not a really fun team to watch overall, but Anthony Edwards, he was really good last year. And like you said, when their big three all played together last year, they were really good. They ended
towards the end of the year.
Yeah, towards the end of the year, they were playing really good and playing really teams really close and just playing good basketball. So I think if they just continue to do what they were doing last year, and I think the signing or they traded for Pat Bev, he's gonna bring some intensity and
he's gonna bring that mentality.
Yeah,
and
that defense. Yeah, exactly.
Vocal leadership.
So he's gonna bring that to the team who hasn't been very good defensively, and hopefully him being there yelling at Karl Anthony Towns will motivate him to play some defense.
Yeah. So we know how that worked out with Jimmy Butler and stuff like that. So hopefully, Pat Bev can get into him and get him to work hard.
Yeah. But I could see them playing in that 10 spot. That's where I see them going.
Yeah, see him at 10. The 9 spot, I got the Memphis Grizzlies. So they lost Valanciunas, which I think was huge.
Mhm.
But they got back a guy who we know is one of the strongest and probably one of the best role playing big men in the league in Steven Adams. He's going to do everything that you want him to do. And then, so this is a team that was in the playoffs last year, man. They were number 8 last year.
Yeah.
They beat Golden State to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got them 9. I think they could be really good. And I feel like if they play a team like Portland, that they can probably, I think they'll give them a fit and possibly get back into the playoffs. So yeah, I got Memphis at 9.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think what they did last year, it was good for their young team to get into the playoffs, get some experience. They didn't have Jared Jackson Jr. most of the year last year, so I think having him there all season is gonna be big for them. The Steven Adams, picking him up, I think he's a better defender than Valanciunas, but
But you lose what, 18 to 20 points?
Yeah, exactly. And they're probably similar to rebounding, but he was able to stretch the floor a little bit. He's able to shoot the 3 if he's open. So that I think that's whole switch will. I think it will work out for them. Though Jaren Jackson Jr. likes to shoot 3s and stuff like that.
It'll open up more opportunities for him.
Yeah.
It'll open up more opportunities for him.
And then like you said, I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if they're a little higher than what I have them at 9. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think they play hard. They play for one another. They play for one another. So I expect I could see them being in the range of 7 to 9. That's kind of where I have them.
I can see them there too.
I think they'll be good.
Yeah. Coming in at number 8, I got Portland. Now, we all know what they did in the offseason. They didn't do anything. They didn't know what was going on with Dame. But I do believe that the influence of Chauncey Billups will allow Dame to stay mentally locked in and, do his thing. But I do like Norman Powell and Nurkic. I do think they have a good little solid, not championship contending, but they got a solid little core, and I like their backup point guard. What's his name? It slips my mind right now. Simon, Anthony Simon. Yeah, I like him a lot too. He's real athletic and can keep the pace going once Dame comes out the game. So
yeah.
I got Portland here at number 8.
Yeah, I got them at 8 too. It's a big question mark of what's going to happen for them. I think if they are around the 8 range, it may be Dames, maybe him or CJ. One of them, I think, will be moved because it's been a lot of the same stuff. They're pretty top heavy in their team. Their starting 5 is good. They could compete with most teams, but I just defensively it hasn't been there for them. I think Chauncey Billups, though, him coming in will maybe get them in more defensive mindset or something like that. Because they could score with the best of them, but just getting stops is what kind of holds them back. So, and none of their additions were big to me. It was just I don't know what they were doing this offseason. They got Larry Nance, Ben McLemore, Cody Zeller, but I don't think those guys are gonna make you into a contender. They're solid players, but just I don't see it going anywhere.
It kind of feels like year in and year out they trade or get rid of 3 role players and then bring in 3 more.
Yeah,
they don't really make a splash, and I mean, this is what year 9, 10 going on for Dame, and it's been the same thing ever since he got there.
Yeah, they got to do something big for him, or he may ask for a trade. We'll see, but I got him at 8.
Coming in at number 7, I have, now this is a team that if they're healthy, one or two possibly, and that's the LA Clippers. So we know Kawhi. We don't know his timetable for return, and that's the big question mark for this team. But I do think that they're, that the guys they're going to roll out there from the beginning. Paul George. They picked up Eric Bledsoe. Still got Reggie Jackson. Let's see how he comes back because he had one of the best postseason runs I've ever seen from a role player. Yeah, from a role player, one of the best postseasons I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So, Ty Lue, I think, is a tremendous coach, and he'll have him in the middle of the pack. But, Kawhi, we'll see what happens with Kawhi.
Yeah, I got the Clippers at 7 too. I think we're going to see that MVP Paul George caliber player this year. With he's going to be having the ball in his hands a ton. So I think we'll see him balling out. I expect he's going to go crazy. Kawhi Leonard, that's obviously their biggest question mark. Last that I heard that his rehab's been going pretty good.
They said he may come back before schedule.
Yeah. So that's really good. Yeah. That's. I mean, who's gonna want to see the Clippers as a 7 seed?
Right.
It was kind of it's similar to the Lakers last year. Like, well, they were banged up in the playoffs, but like you don't want to see that caliber, that much talent at number 7. You don't want to see them. So, they didn't really make too many moves in the offseason. They got Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and Harry Giles. So those are all solid guys. Winslow and Giles have been kind of injured these last couple years.
Winslow, he's been hasn't seen the floor a lot.
So I think this year they basically go as far as Reggie Jackson and Paul George is going to take them. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, we'll see the leap that Terrence Mann can make too as well. So,
he was good. He was good for the last year.
It's a good playoff experience for him. So we'll see how it goes. Coming in at number 6, I have the Dallas Mavericks, and so this has been like the last 3 or 4 years, or maybe 3. They've been in this same sort of range. I know that Kristaps Porzingis had an issue with his role after the playoffs had ended. So hopefully, J Kidd can get him going and have him at where he was, before prior to the trade to Dallas. So he hasn't played up to his standard, I don't believe. And he again too always hurt.
Yeah.
Kristaps, always can't stay on the floor. So I got Dallas at 6. Luka, obviously, we know what he can bring, and I love Tim Hardaway Jr. too. So,
yeah, I got Dallas at 6 too.
This is what it seems scripted. Like, I promise you guys, this was not scripted.
I promise. You guys, this wasn't scripted. I have my notes. He has his.
Right.
I guess just 2 great minds think alike. That's good. But yeah, I got Dallas at 6. Luka, I think he's just gonna keep getting better. He's already a top 10 player. This year, he may be creeping into that top 5. Some people have him in their top 5, but
we'll get into that too. That too.
Yeah, that's something we'll get into for sure. But I think they go as far as he takes them.
Of course, yeah.
And KP, what he's been doing with just kind of standing in the corner, being just like a 7-foot 3-point shooter. Like, come on,
he's playing like he's 6'5".
Yeah, So I think with Jason Kidd though, I think he's going to bring some adjustments and maybe not have the ball in Luka's hands as much and try to get what's his name going as well. Get KP going. And like you said, Hardaway Jr., he's a good player, a good 3-point shooter. They picked up Reggie Bullock. They picked up Reggie Bullock in the offseason. So that's a solid pickup. He's a good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of fits the makeup of their team that's been there.
Yeah.
Dorian Finney-Smith and Hardaway Jr. in the corners, catching shoots. So it sort of just fits the makeup of the team. Have shooters around Luka and.
Yeah.
All right, so getting into number 5, I have the Denver Nuggets. So MVP Jokic. I think he's going to have another great year, obviously. Depending on when they get Jamal Murray back, I think that's when they'll really excel and flourish. But they played really well once he got hurt last year. So that's they propelled up to what the fourth seed after Murray got hurt, and obviously you hate to see ACLs; those are the worst.
Yeah.
So you never know when they're going to get him back. But I like MPJ, Michael Porter. This is his time.
Yeah,
he got paid.
I like him too.
Yeah, he got paid $207 million, so he's got to show it. I do like the fact that he's really efficient. He's been efficient his whole career, shooting at least 40% from three, which is huge.
Crazy. Yeah.
So I got Denver here.
Yeah, I got Denver as well.
You got Denver here. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, freaking the Joker, that dude's he's insane. His what he does for that team is ridiculous. Guy, his height, making plays how he does, always under control, and just his game is.
You just see
it's nice, man.
It's amazing.
He does it all. So I think he's gonna still be being great, being doing what he does. I think Porter Jr. with a whole season and going in like a training camp, knowing that he's gonna be the number 2 option,
right?
That'll be good for him, and I think he's gonna be ready to step up to the plate for them and do some big things. All their guards they got good guards with Rivers, Monte Morris, and Campazzo. They're all solid point guards.
They're a bit small, but
yeah. But I think overall it's going to be like a committee of just good guard play. But you got Jokic making a lot of plays for them too. But if they could just have good solid guard play between all their 3 guards and whoever else they got playing the 2, I think they could be right where around the 5 range up until Murray gets back. And once they get Murray back, it will probably take them some time. But overall, they're going to be a good team. They're going to play hard. Playing against Denver at Denver is always a hard game. So I think they'll be good. Jeff Green, they picked him up in the offseason. He's just a good player. He was big for He was big for Brooklyn last year, so it's a good pickup.
Yeah, one of those veterans you want to have.
Yeah. So I got them at 5.
Coming in at number 4, I got the Golden State Warriors. So we know the Warriors. Clay's coming back this year at some point. Still got Draymond, obviously, and Steph. That's that duo right there. They know how to get it done. You know what I mean? It'll be fun to see the improvement of Wiseman this year.
Yeah.
And then Kuminga, that's their rookie draft pick coming in. So Wiggins, obviously we know what he can bring, and then Otto Porter. I like Otto Porter.
Yeah.
That 3-and-D guy that's going to hit those jumpers in the corner. Once Steph draws 3 or 4 defenders like he usually does. So I got Golden State here. I can't wait to see Clay come back though. Can't wait.
Yeah, I think you and every other NBA fan can't wait for that. NBA needs Klay Thompson. He's a national treasure. But I got him at 4 too. I think they're one of the biggest question mark teams as well this year. I think Steph Curry, what he did last year was amazing, and I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. If he stays healthy, hopefully Wiseman. He had a real up and down year last year. Whenever he was playing good, he would get injured. He'd come back, be a little slow, start playing good, get hurt. So that's something that is going to be big for them too. Kuminga and Moody, I don't know if they'll make huge splashes early, but so far they've been solid for them. So I can see them. I see them turning out to be pretty good players down the line. Wiggins, he was good for the Warriors last year. he was probably saw the best defense he's played in his career last year.
Again,
So I don't, yeah.
Coming in at number 3, I got the Utah Jazz. So, man, the Jazz, like, we know their two main pieces, Mitchell and Gobert. And Gobert statistically had one of the best defensive seasons ever last year in terms of protecting the rim. So obviously you don't expect that to drop, unless he's hurt or something like that. They brought in Eric Pascal, who is, a solid guy, coming from Golden State, solid, can get a bucket when he needs to. And they still, got their main piece, Jordan Clarkson, obviously 6th man of the year.
Straight hooper.
Yeah, we know what he brings to the table. So overall, again, Quinn Snyder has been really good as their coach. So I don't see the production dropping. They'll be right there, and depending on injuries, they'll be competing for conference finals.
Yeah, well, this is where it finally switches up.
You got Phoenix here, huh?
Yeah, I got the Suns. I think they're going to be a really good team. Of course, again, they're going to keep building off their success of last year, making it to the finals. But ultimately, I think they go as far as D-Book and CP3 take them. And Ayton, with his little contract situation and stuff like that, he probably has something to prove this year. So I see them being good. They didn't really have any like crazy additions. They brought in JaVale McGee, which that's a good pickup for them though, because he brings in championship caliber, not player, but experience, and he's just overall. I like JaVale McGee. He's gonna rebound the ball. He doesn't care about his minutes, and he's a good big to have on your team.
He's good for chemistry as well.
Yeah. And then they also brought in Larry Shamet, who's a good shooter. And he's like a pretty solid defender. So they also got Alfred Payton, and we know how I feel about that. So I expect the Suns to be really good, though. I think they'll be in the mix for sure.
Yeah.
They're going to be nice. CP3 and D-Book, it's a great backcourt. I expect big things from them again this year.
Yeah. So, coming in number 2, obviously I got Phoenix. I do think what they have over the Jazz, even though the Jazz were really great from the 3 last year and have been for a couple of years, I do think that they have the better role players. Phoenix does behind CP. You saw how Cam Payne came in last year and ran up the offense a little bit. And then, Jay Crowder, I always loved Jay Crowder's game. Like, he just brings that toughness. One of those guys, one of the handful of guys that you want on your team that you hate playing against. What I mean?
I agree.
And then, Mikal Bridges. I love his game. Like 3 and D, he's going to do everything for you. And I do think he could up his scoring a little bit this year. I do believe he will.
Yeah.
So I got Phoenix here. What they were missing last year. Obviously, you talk about JaVale McGee. What they were missing last year. When Dario Saric went out in the finals, they were missing that second guy to come in. And so, if that does happen again this year, God forbid, he could come in and bring that energy. So I got Phoenix here too, and then
well, I got the Lakers at number 2. I think, obviously, they're. I think they know that the number 1 seed isn't a priority.
Right.
Something. So I don't see LeBron playing every game. I don't see AD playing every game. They're an older team, so they're gonna rest some guys, and I think as long as they have the home court, like they're gonna be competitive. Of course, they're gonna win a lot of games, but I see them not being in a need for the number 1 seed.
Right.
And they're stacked from top to bottom. Their team's crazy. My only concern about them is health, of course, because that's what killed them last year. But they got a new team. But overall, still, that's going to be a big concern for them. And who's going to be guarding like the elite guards who they play? That's like my only concern too, because they got all the defense inside, but on the perimeter, I know Bazemore's a solid. He's a good defender. Kendrick Nunn is a capable defender. A lot of their guys are capable defenders, but not like those elite, not elite, but just like the KCP, he's a good defender. Like you don't mind him checking the other elite guard on the other team. So that's my only concern about them. They have Trevor Ariza, but he's getting up there in age. So, but they're going to be a problem regardless. Their height, their inside presence is going to be crazy. Russell Westbrook is going to be fun to watch with them, even though last night it wasn't too fun watching him play. Yeah, I got LA at 2. I don't think they need the number 1 seed. That they're going to be good all year, but I think my number. We'll get into my number 1 seed. Yeah.
So yeah, obviously, I didn't put them yet, so I got the Lakers 1. And I agree with everything you just said. They're a bit old. I don't think they'll really care if they don't get the number 1 seed, but I think they're on a mission.
Yeah,
I do think they're on a mission. They filled all the holes that they were missing last year in the playoffs. They couldn't shoot the ball at all, and so they picked up Ariza, somebody that's going to catch and shoot. Bazemore, Malik Monk, So yeah, they filled some holes, and then they picked up Dwight Howard again. They got Dwight back. One of them interior, like you said, interior, like they're going to be one of the best, the best defensive team in the league. On the interior, but perimeter defense is going to be an issue. But when you got LeBron and AD, I think that'll make up for it. Just like the Nets on the eastern side, they don't really have the best defenders, but I think offensively, if they're not stagnant like they were last year and get the ball moving, they'll be good.
All right. Yeah, my number 1 is the Jazz. I feel like last year they're killing it all year, but then they got hit with injuries. Like Mitchell wasn't 100%.
Mitchell's ankle, his ankle was messed up, and
Conley was like a little banged up in the playoffs and stuff like that too. Rudy Gobert kind of got exposed in the playoffs, but I feel like they have something to prove this next year. So I feel like they're gonna just be firing on all cylinders. They didn't lose anyone too crazy to the roster, but they picked up Rudy Gay and, like you said, Eric Pascal, and they picked up Whiteside too. So if you have Whiteside as your second big, he's a good defender. He's just gonna do the little things. So that's a good big to have on your bench. So I feel like this year they want to prove that last year wasn't a fluke with them being one of the better regular season teams. Quinn Snyder's one of the better coaches in the league. Donovan Mitchell has gone better every single year. His game is just every year just getting better and better. So I expect that trend to keep going. So I see them with the number 1 seed. Like I could see the top 3 all flipping. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those, but I think the Jazz they got something to prove. I'm not going to say they're one of my favorites to win the title, but regular season wise, I think they're going to be a really good regular season team. So, yeah. Well, we can get into some of our predictions. It's a little way too early, but
hold on.
3, 2.
Yeah, now getting into teams that we don't think are going to make the playoffs. Obviously we're pretty consistent with that. We got the Thunder, the Rockets, Kings, Spurs, and Pelicans. So what are your opinion on those?
So I think the Kings, until they start playing some more defense, becoming a more consistent defensive team, I don't have them in the playoff contention. I think they'll be around. I think they're out of all the teams that you listed, they're like around 11, I would say. So I think they'll be battling for one of those final playing spots, but just defensively they haven't been very good.
Right.
I like their young pieces though. They got a lot with Fox, Hill, Tyrese Halliburton, Davion Mitchell, who they just drafted.
Yeah, Davion really will help on the defensive end.
Yeah. So until they commit to the defensive side, that's where I just have them out. The Pelicans, I think they didn't get better this year, and with their offseason moves, I should say. And with Zion, his health has been a little bit of a concern. He's still a stud though. Like
right. We know what he brings to the table when he's
like I don't have anything bad to say besides his health, him being injured. That's the only thing I could say what's been wrong. Him and Brandon Ingram, I like that duo. So what they put around him though, I don't like their team very much.
Yeah, Valanciunas, we'll see.
How so that's I have them just outside the playoff picture. The Thunder, I really like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I really like his game. His game's one of my favorites in the league. But they're just a young team right now. So I don't expect them to win too many games in the West too. That's going to be tough. But I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's must-see TV. So I like watching him play. So I'll be tuned in for sure. The Spurs, they're a young team right now. And
which is funny to say.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound.
When have we ever said that?
Right.
But I do like their young players with Keldon Johnson, DeJounte Murray, Derek White. I know I'm missing a couple other ones, but just for time, I'll just keep it at that. They're always going to be well coached with Greg Popovich coaching, but I just think they're a little inexperienced right now, so I don't see them making too much noise. And then Houston, they got Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr., they're going to be an exciting backcourt for the future. That's going to be a lot of fun. But like I said about these other teams, they're all really young teams, so it's hard to win in the NBA. So that's why I have all these teams out. But out of all these teams, I think the Kings, they could maybe get into that playing spot. Out of all these teams I named, I think they would be the team to do it. So
the two teams out of this group that I'm really fond of are, the Pelicans with Zion. Even though they, like you said, they didn't really surround him with anything to win, but him and Brandon Ingram, on any given
night, start.
Right, any given night they can win you a game. So and then the Rockets, obviously, with that young core, Josh Christopher and Christian Wood coming back, off of injury. He had a monster year in the games he played last year. Right after he went down is when they lost the 19 straight, which is, pretty much tells you all you need to know about his game. So the Rockets and the Pelicans, I'm interested to see those two teams. And then Davion Mitchell, though, like his defense, his defensive,
it's the real deal.
Yeah, he's definitely the real deal, and he's no slouch on offense too. So
he's good. He's gonna be good for them for sure. Their whole guard rotation, they got a good guard rotation in Sacramento.
Yep. So those are our standings. Let us know what you think. Do we have anything in the wrong spot? Give us, any type of anything you got. So. Want to get into some awards, preseason awards, quickly?
Let's do it.
All right. So for the MVP, coming into the year, you got a lot of candidates. So I wrote down 5 or 6 guys that I'm, pretty think that are, in the running. So first, I got James Harden. So we obviously know what he could do scoring wise. So, and then the fact that he led the league in assists last year, I think he'll be up there. Also got Jokic up there with him, AD, Steph Curry, Giannis, and Luka. And so quietly, I think my pick is Luka. Um, yeah, I think he's coming into his own. He's still not even at his prime, age yet. But coming into his own, the guy can give you 30, 10, and 10 on any given night. So my MVP favorite right now is Luca.
Yeah, I wrote down four. I have Harden, Luca, Giannis, and Steph. Um, all those guys are gonna go crazy this year, but I have Harden as my favorite right now. He's going to give you 25 and 10, and they may win the most games in the league.
Mhm.
And I know most teams with big threes, though, they get penalized with it.
Right.
But like, he's really like, he makes the game so much easier for other players, even though he dribbles the hell out of the ball.
Right. Which he cut down on once he got to Brooklyn.
Yeah, well, you have to with those other players. But I think what Harden does, I think he has a big year ahead of him for sure.
Okay, then going into the rookie of the year, I think that it's a two-man race with number one and number two. So Cade and Jalen Green. I do think Cade will win it. I just think I don't know. I think he's more NBA ready when it comes to. I think it's his pace and he's slower with the ball and likes to get his teammates involved. Not saying Jalen Green doesn't, but he likes to get his teammates involved. And I can see him averaging somewhere close to 20, like 18, 17. With 6, 7 assists. So I think Cade. I got Cade winning rookie of the year.
Yeah, I got it as a 3-man race. Green, of course, he's going to be balling out. He's going to have, I think, the most opportunity on his team out of the most rookies to be able to have the ball in his hands a lot and be able to shoot the ball a lot. So he's going to have a lot of scoring opportunities. So I see him taking advantage of that. I think Davion Mitchell will be in consideration for it. I think his defensive presence, like what he does on the court, people are going to be able to take notice of that, and I think he can make a difference for the Kings a little bit. And then Cade too. I think it may come down to kind of like the Carmelo and LeBron rookie of the year race, where Cade's going to have like the maybe 20, 25 and 5, like around, he's going to fill up the stat sheet, but where Jalen Green is just going to be getting buckets.
Right. And he's going to be, the guy you want to see.
Yeah.
All the highlight plays you're going to
see from him. So I can see going to Jalen Green, though. I'm going to say Jalen Green for right now.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a good thing that we got some diversity in this.
Yeah.
Our standards were pretty much spot on the same.
Yeah.
So the next category is the most improved, and I got 3 guys here. So Jordan Poole, we know how he's improved from year one. He was electrifying last year. To be honest with you, like he did a lot.
He was really good.
Right, get to the rim. I got Precious Achiuwa here as my second. I think in Toronto, I think he'll excel. I think Nick Nurse will have him doing a lot of things. And then third, who I think he's probably the favorite, and that's Michael Porter Jr. So obviously we talked about him getting that contract. So I think Michael Porter Jr. will win it.
Yeah, so far I just have it as a 2-man race as of right now. I think as the season goes on, I could add another one. But right now I think Jordan Poole, what he's been doing has been really good, and every year he's just gone better. So what he's been showing in preseason with the whole package, he's scoring in the lane, he's shooting the hell out of the ball, he's being able to get off the dribble, shoot mid-range, he's doing it all right now. So he's looking really, really good. He's going to be starting in place of Klay Thompson, so he's going to, up until Klay gets back, so he's going to have a lot of opportunities to do his thing. So I can see him getting it, or Michael Porter Jr. Like we said earlier, he's going to be a number 2 option, and he's going to have all the opportunity in the world. He's playing with like the best passing big we've seen in a long time, maybe if ever. So he's going to get a lot of opportunities, and he's going to do his thing this year too.
Yeah, that's my favorite as well. So defensive player of the year, I got this as a 1-man race. I mean, I know there's a lot of great defenders, but I think Rudy Gobert, his impact defensively, they talked about last year how he had one of the best statistical. You know, when you get into like the analytics side of the basketball, he had like one of the best seasons ever. You know, so yeah, I think he'll get it again.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't have anyone else written down to Gobert. What he does defensively is crazy. The only complaint I could say is just like if someone goes small against him, like he kind of got exposed a little bit.
He got killed by that 5-out offense.
Yeah, but most 7-footers, they're not going to be able to do that regardless.
You can't. Can't.
But
you know.
What he does for the Jazz though is crazy. His defensive presence is nuts. He's blocking shots all the time. He's like that. So yeah, I got Rudy Gobert as my defensive player of the year too. Way too early, but yeah,
too early. Yeah,
that's what I got. So
yep. So let us know what you guys think. Comment, subscribe, do what you got to do. Let us know if you think we're stupid, if we're wrong, right? Let us know. So anything we see, it's much appreciated. So again, if you made it this far, we appreciate it. Again, this is the 2ManGame podcast. I'm your host, Dante. This is K.C, my co-host. And y'all enjoy, man.
See y'all next week.
Yes, sir.